5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, good day, goodbye. Hello, welcome along. This is LTiDtv from Leicester Till I Die. It is the prediction show, although I think we could be sued under misrepresentation. Yeah, welcome along. If you're in, and he's in. Brad is in. You might guess who's top. We never saw him last year, you know what I mean? But welcome on. Like Brad there, if you are in the chat, whether it's on Twitch or on whatever they call it these days, YouTube, that's it. Join in the chat, and it will appear in the bottom right-hand corner, as it does there. If you're watching on catch-up, get predictions in below, and you can see the time, so don't try and be clever and put your predictions in after the games. If you're listening via your favourite podcast platform, thank you, very glad for lending me your ears. I'm just in here for the table. Of course you are. While you're there, Brad, you can bloody mod on Twitch and get rid of those people that come in and scamming. Josh, good evening, sir.
Good evening, pal. How are you?
Well, I'm not so bad. I would say that, there was a time when I could remember you and me being good at this, but I don't think there is or ever was.
Definitely not, mate. It's been another another bit of a shocker from me this week. I think in the Super Six, it's not been great. No. I mean, you did better in the non-Super Six. I did. We'll probably touch on that in a bit. But sort of, it's the booby prize, that one, and it's a bit of the consolation gift. So I'm clutching at straws.
The one that you suggested doing because you were struggling in the main one.
That's right, pal.
I tell you what, though, it is. It's a hard thing to predict this season. I mean, the Prem last season was hard enough, but I mean, here's some of the results from last week. Charlton, who was most people's favourites to go down and won the bottom three, holding Millwall. Leicester went to bottom three Oxford and struggled to get but we got a draw, but we were down to 10 men. Preston and Middlesbrough drew a couple of Desmonds there. Coventry, who have been, obviously we've got at the weekend, and as you can see below, do tune in tonight at 9 o'clock for the preview show. They've been knocking them in for fun, and yet they were held 1-1 by Norwich. But the thing is, I was speaking to the Coventry fan, and they're still not convinced by Frank Lampard,
It's mad, ain't it? Because obviously, as a neutral towards, neutral towards Coventry, I don't really like them as much as Leicester fans don't. But you sort of look at it from the outside and you think, you know what? Yeah, they're playing good football, creating plenty of chances.
Yes.
And then to hear that from a Coventry fan, it's interesting to see, because obviously they watch them week in, week out, and if they're not convinced, then I suppose it's sort of music to our ears coming up this weekend, isn't it? Really?
Exactly. Sheffield Wednesday, I've got to say, look dead and buried. I mean, I thought they were going to get bought out, but that now looks to be on the back burner. Stoke, local derby against Birmingham, winning. Another Desmond between Swansea and Hull. Blackburn Rovers sneaking an away win 1-0, as did Derby. And I love this. Wrexham 1, Queen's Park Rangers 3. Ryan Reynolds invited Chris Reeves over, his son, because obviously Chris Reeves is no longer with us, who played Superman.
Yeah.
And he got his son over to show him off, and they got stuffed 3-1 at home. And I love football chants. And the QPR fans singing, "You've got all the money, but you're still shit." I loved it. Bristol City, who did actually put 3 past high pressure and put 3 past Sheffield Wednesday, they've got a oil shake sniffing around.
I think they've always they've been one of them clubs really that would be, if you're an owner looking to get into football, they've always been, from my knowledge, a pretty well run club. I know they've last maybe few seasons in the Championship. Obviously, they made the playoffs last season, so it's a good springboard from there. And they've always been a bit of an attractive club to. I mean, I think they play decent football whenever I've watched them. So it doesn't surprise me really. Like you say, if that's true, then it looks like they'll be the next big thing.
Well, they are. Like you say, not a sleeping giant as such, but out the 2 Bristol teams, it's not like it's close. Bristol Rovers have really struggled by comparison, but good luck to them if they can get it. Brad says there, I bet Connor Cody is loving winning at Wrexham. Don't kick a man when he's down. Honestly, he loves Connor Cody, really. They're like that. Connor Cody's on top, by the way. Right, I'm going to do this. Don't particularly want to, but like I say, we do have our Super 6. So we do half the games where that goes towards this league. And you came up with the idea that, well, the other 6... we should just have a little mini league between us.
Yeah, just a little bit of friendly rivalry, I guess.
Yeah, it's not so friendly at the moment. You walloped me last week. You absolutely. I
had a decent weekend last weekend. I got correct scores of Charlton 1, Millwall 1. And Sheffield Wednesday 0, Bristol City 3. But I did think you were going to get that one because Bristol City were 3-0 up at half time, I think. Or they were 3-0 up inside the first 25 minutes. And I was sat there and I thought, shit, he's going to get this one. Pretty that Sheffield Wednesday held out, which obviously they did. So, but yeah, at the minute, I'm not too smug because I know in a minute you're obviously going to bring up the main Super 6. And I can't really set bragging rights in that one, so I'll take what I can at the minute, and I'll sort of bathe myself in the glory of looking at our 2 cartoon characters there and seeing a 6 by my name. How long it'll last, mate? Probably not too long, to be honest.
Look, it's like the blind leading the blind here, isn't it? Thank God I had a first couple of good weeks because that's kind of put me in head. Right, Brad, get your tissues ready. Josh is thinking, can we pick them every week? Get your tissues ready, Brad, because here we go. There we go. Now, you got 1 point last week. And I'm just going to have to remove, because I don't want people not to be able to see the whole table.
Keep it there. No, keep it there, mate.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I don't want people, not being able to see. Somebody's top. I don't know who it is. I'm not saying, because FIFA, UEFA, how corrupt it all is and what have you. And the guy that actually does the maths and the adding up on this is the guy who's top. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything untoward there, but just keep an eye on this. I think we should be done. I think we need auditors in. Need auditors in. Kate's doing well. She's up to 3rd. And just when I mentioned Kate, we've got a new show starting tomorrow where every week Kate will be picking the starting 11 she thinks is the strongest to play at the weekend. So we've got that coming up tomorrow lunchtime. Wayne's doing all right. That's probably because of his fantasy league. Look, back up onto the left-hand side of the scoreboard. 14 points. Yeah, we take these little victories.
You have to, mate. You have to. I'm still stuck behind the live chat.
The thing is, Craig, right? 2 weeks running, Craig got 0, and yet he's still only 2 points behind me. How bad am I? And yes. And look, I do keep saying this in your defence, but you did miss the first week. I don't know what the difference would it really?
I'll be honest, mate. I think I've probably got about one more week of that excuse before it starts to run. It runs really thin. So one more week of it, and then there'll be no excuse, pal. It's pathetic, ain't it?
We couldn't have two people presenting this show that are totally wrong for it. Really. It's a bit like, Katie Price doing how to make how to look good naked show. Really. This doesn't work. It's the same with us. Although I could probably do that show as well. I don't know who that Brad up the top there is, Awful Gamer, but like I say, I think we should have an inquiry at the guy that totals all the points up. So we should have a check. Right, let's quickly forget about that then, and let's go on to this week. I've got a game tomorrow night, which I won't be watching because I'm actually doing an audience with Francis Rossi from Status Quo.
Nice.
A meet and greet with him tomorrow night. But yeah, Middlesbrough playing West Brom, which is the first of our Super 6. Birmingham hosting Swansea. We've obviously got the M69 derby, and if, as Brad always says this, if a derby is named after a motorway, it's a serious contender for a decent derby. The fact that it's the shortest motorway in the country is neither here nor there. QPR hosting Stoke, Blackburn Rovers hosting Ipswich, Derby are hosting Preston, and then Hull have got Southampton. On Saturday, those all are, but also on Saturday we've got a run of Super Sixes there. Norwich hosting Wrexham, Portsmouth hosting Sheffield Wednesday. Can they get something? A Sheffield United hosting Charlton. Bristol City are hosting Oxford on the Sunday, and we've got a Monday night game as well. Millwall hosting Watford. Wayne says, "Good evening, lads. Chris, are you making the paper plain for him to sign?" Wayne, all I'll say is, get down and down. Because if you have too many, if you drink any more, you'll be rolling home. But then again, it is margarita time. I'm running out of songs now. And if anybody's watching that isn't a Status Quo fan, you wonder what the fuck I'm talking about. Right. Shall we have a go at this then? Here we go.
Let's have a bash, pal. See how crap we do this week.
Well, if you do crap, I have a feeling I might, because we're not so different on a lot of them. Unfortunately, I should have waited for you to put yours up first. But I didn't. I went first, so I couldn't change them. This is Middlesbrough, like I say, hosting West Bromwich Albion. 46% chance of Middlesbrough winning this, which I thought was quite high because West Bromwich Albion are in the top 6. But look, you can see there the last 5 games. Middlesbrough haven't lost yet. and West Brom have only lost one. And this is a really difficult one because the two home games that Middlesbrough have played are both wins. The last two away games that Albion have done, it's 2 wins. Now, I'm going to change this for next week to attacking defence, but it's still offence at the moment. This is just for our American friends. And I think what this means is sort of how good they are at attacking and how good they are at defending. So Middlesbrough, I mean, look at the defence there, 100%. They are really good at defending, but we've both got them conceding the goal. And West Brom, better at attacking than defending. 9 scored, 3 conceded for Middlesbrough. 6 scored, 4 conceded for Albion. XG, again, Middlesbrough a lot better. As we said earlier, 1st and 5th. This game last season, so it was the Middlesbrough at home versus Albion last season. Middlesbrough came out on top. And as always, 2 to 3 goals is the highest probability of goals to be scored. 2 to 3, which we've both gone for. You've gone for a draw there, a 1-1 to set yourself off.
Just a game where I couldn't really split them, really, mate. As you can see there, Middlesbrough, they've had a cracking start. Had it been away, I'd have probably gone for a West Brom win, to be honest with you. But again, I just couldn't split them, mate. I think they both really had good starts. They both look really good. So that's why, again, same as every week. If I've not really got the balls to call a team out and say they'll win when I'm unsure, so I sit on the fence to get splinters on my arse again. So that's why I went for a 1-1. I just couldn't call it, mate. Too tricky. But having said that, there'll probably be a 5-0 winner now. So
I haven't gone for anything ridiculous this week. I've put my sense. I've actually tried to put a bit of thought into it, which means I'll get thought this week. No, yeah, I know what you're saying, because when you look at it, you'd think this is going to be one of the hardest games, and it probably would end up a draw. But Middlesbrough just, if they can keep this form up, because obviously the last couple of seasons have kind of fallen away towards the end. They managed to only just get a draw last week against Preston, but West Brom losing to Derby. I
know what you mean, but it could have just been a bit of a freak result. I think, by all accounts, it sounded a bit like a bit of a smash and grab from what I've heard. I didn't watch the game or anything, so I think, from what I've heard, West Brom were a bit unlucky to actually lose. So it could just be a freak result. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, do you mean to say you're not watching ITV's Championship review? I don't know if I'd say anything that made Match of the Day look good these days.
And it depends, mate. If I'm up and it's on, I'll sort of have it on in the background. Obviously, watch our game on there. But
yeah,
it's not something I stay up and tune in for. Put it that way.
No. I think the actual videos that the club put out are longer than we get on those shows. But
yeah, 100%, definitely.
Kyle's in. Hi, Kyle. How the devil are you, sir? Prashant's gone 1-0 to Middlesbrough. So he agrees with me. Nate, good morning from me and evening to you over there from the good old US of A. You can come out. You can come out now, Nat. We've got Trump for a couple of days, so he's safe to come out. Oh, did I say that out loud? So we disagree on the first one. You've gone for the fence sitting. I've gone for the home win. And the next game that comes up is Birmingham playing Swansea. Wow. This is a non-Super 6, so I haven't got your scores in these.
Yeah.
Birmingham 51% to win this. They lost the first 2 games, but they've won, not lost in 3. Swansea drawn 1, lost. It depends which Swansea turn up. As you can see, Birmingham better at attacking than defending, as indeed a Swansea, so it'll probably be 0-0. Not great on the score front there. Birmingham scoring 4 and conceding 5, 6 and 4 for Swansea. Swansea's XG, I mean, I'm looking at this now and thinking, what the fuck did I go for 2-2 for? In fact, I'll tell you what, I have gone for a lot of 2-1s this week, and I thought, I can't have all my goals 2-1. I'm going to change one of them, and for some reason I changed this. But yeah, Swansea's XG 0.9, and yeah, I've got them scoring 2 goals. Wasn't the game this time last season, 48% chance of there being 2 or 3 goals, 11th place, 7th. What have you now? This is one, you make a note of this. I know this is one that of our little league, isn't it? Come on, you bastard! What have you gone for?
Indeed, mate. I've just made notes of your score. I've say I've got a bit of insider information. I've not. I've just got one of my pals' points of view. And at work today, I was in the office, which is in Birmingham, and one of my best friends there. He's a big Blues fan. And he's been saying that he's really not impressed with the manager. And even last season he weren't, even though they were steamrolling the league, he said it was quite boring to watch. And he says he believes Swansea are going to batter him. He says he can honestly see Swansea turning up and steamrolling them. He's not been impressed at all. And the way Swansea played last night, I think it could be the case. The comeback win against Forest was a mental game to watch. I've gone for a 1-1 though. I think. Yeah. Having said all that, I think Birmingham are always going to be difficult to beat at home. Again, just one of them ones where I think they're sitting pretty close together in the league. As you said, the XG's. Birmingham's is significantly better, but I still think they don't really create a lot of chances in games, as daft as it sounds. That's why, I've gone for the 1-1, mate, on this one.
I'm just looking. I mean, it's Chris Davis who's their manager. And a lot of people actually had Birmingham as doing well this season. Yeah, because they walked League One, and they started off not so well. They're doing better now, obviously. But have a look. I mean, they're sat down in 11th. Sorry, they started off well. Sorry, with the draw and the 2 wins. I'm the wrong way around, and they've lost the last 2. To us and to Stoke. They don't obviously like playing Midlands clubs. I just think I wasn't that. I never, if they started off well, I can remember. Can you remember when Blackpool was sat at the top of the Premier League? Yeah. Not promoted. Yeah, for that first season, everyone was like, "Who the fuck are these?" And they were right up there. And of course, they got relegated at the end of the season. And I think I can see that happening with Birmingham. I just don't think they're going to sustain it. And I can see the manager being sacked before the end of the season, not particularly because he's awful, but just because they want success, and it's. Well, look. They sacked Gary Rowett when they were sat in 6th or something, didn't they? So they have no qualms about sacking people. But I've gone 2-2 because I'm daft, I'm stupid, and I really regret that now. I've locked this in, so I've got to go with it. Fucking hell, next year 0.9, and I went, no fucking wonder I only get 1.3.
But Chris, they scored 3 last night, so they've got goals in them. They have got goals in them. Who
did they play last night? It was Caribou Cup, wasn't it? Last night
they played Forest.
Did they? Wow.
Yeah, Forest were 2-0 up, and then it was 2-1 going into like the 93rd minute. Swansea equalised, and then literally one of the last kicks of the game, Swansea scored a winner.
I saw the result. Game. Yeah, I saw Forest had lost. I don't think I'd clocked who they were playing.
Yeah,
but poor old Angie. Hey,
he looked sick at the end.
What have I done? Trashamp's gone 2-1 to Swansea. Wow. Now then, I've got to. I would stop saying that. Sound like a certain XTV disc jockey presenting.
less said about him, the better.
Please do, because if you say his name, he appears in the description underneath YouTube automatically. If it's somebody famous, they link it up. So yes, we don't say his name, so I'm going to stop saying that. But the next game is, let's be honest with you, it's the big one. It's the derby, the M69 derby, Leicester City hosting Coventry. This is our second of our Super Six. And it's going to be a tight one. 39% Leicester's win probability, 32% for Coventry, 29% for the draw. So pretty much even there. The last 6 games, not an awful lot to choose, really. We both lost one. We've won 3, they've just won 2. Our offensive and defensive percentage is looking really good there. But when you look at Coventry, and I think that's because they got a couple of really big results, their offence is 100%, and our defence is 4. And that's why they got 15-7, scored 15, conceded 7. We're 8 and 5. G, not a lot of difference there. It's nice to see Leicester at 1.3. I think it was like last season, it was always 0 point something. Fourth playing 6th. And like I say, guys, if you're watching something tonight, when I've got Jay on, who's a Coventry City fan, so we'll be talking all things Coventry and Leicester. 48% chance of it being 2 or 3 goals, which means you've gone 4. I've gone 3. I've capped my team in the derby. You haven't done that, have you? But I can understand. I totally have to agree. This worries me. But the Birmingham one did.
That's the thing, mate. I backed us last week. And just touching on last week's game against Oxford, you know what? I come away thinking it was a decent point in the grand scheme of things, down to 10 men. I just think, as sort of chatting about it off air for a little bit, I think this is probably the first big test we've had going on. We obviously thought Birmingham were going to be, and obviously up until 20-30 minutes into the game when we were sort of 1-0 up, and I thought, you know what, these ain't all the cracked up to be, but I think Coventry really are.
Yes.
Attacking wise, as you can see, they look really good. But I think it was such an hard one to call. I genuinely want to back us, but I don't think so far this season. I don't think we've been great, but we seem to have a lot. We seem to have a lot of fight in us, which is what really I want to see. You just want to see players that are given the role. Especially Saturday. Gone down to 10 men after 25 minutes.
Yeah.
You can sort of forgive them, sort of feel sorry for themselves, and think, well, sort of 1-0 down and bring it back to 1-1.
We want to come back season, would we?
Yeah, exactly. So it's good to see. We've got a bunch of players there at the minute that are willing to just give everything and dig in and literally get what we can. So that's why I was going to go for a 1-1, but I think there's going to be more goals in it. Hence why I went for the 2-2. Again, with Leicester, mate. If I ever not go against this, because obviously I've got us to grab a point here, but I'd love to. It's one result where on the Super 6, if we win and I've not backed us, I don't mind being wrong. In fact, I celebrate it, to be honest. But
yes.
That's why I went for the 2-2, mate. I thought if I'll go for a draw, and I can see there being plenty of goals in it.
Well, I've gone 2-1. Look, Coventry, in 2 games, they scored 12 goals. So 12 of their 15 have come in 2 games. And 3 of those, obviously, the remaining 3 came in 2 games. They started off with a 0-0. So apart from those 2, and talking on Twitter, I was a couple of Coventry fans, because I was really struggling to get a Coventry fan and I was going sort of talking to quite a few that couldn't make it, but just talking to them. And again, they're not, as I said before off air, they're not convinced with Frank Lampard, And I was surprised. They said, he did well last season. He got them, into the playoffs and what have you. But they're not overly keen on him. And if you take those 2 games out, look, Do you remember when Leicester put 9 past Southampton?
What a night! It was great, weren't it?
Brilliant, mate. I was there. It was unbelievable. Honestly, one of those, that and the 5-3 over Man United, 2 games I'm so glad I was at.
Yeah.
But that one game didn't defy our season.
Mm.
We weren't getting 6 or 7 every single week, it was just that one game. And that, I think, was it with Coventry and Queen's Park Rangers. But I think take those 2 games out, and they're not the free-flowing scoring, that they look if you include those 2 games. So I've tried to dismiss those 2 games. Hopefully they're not going to get 7 on Saturday. It's the early kickoff. Thank you, Sky. Pain in the arse. But yeah, I think we'll nick it 2-1. Although Prashan's agreeing with you, he's gone for a Desmond as well.
Brilliant. At least I've got somebody backing me.
Somebody as daft as you. Next up, if my button works, it's QPR, who after they had those 7 put past them, hosting Stoke. I don't know what it is about QPR. I've got a really soft spot for them. Look, they're sat in 12th, Stoke are in 2nd. I've got a feeling Stoke will fall away. They usually do. Look, you can see the figures there. They both scored 9, but QPR again. Look, I think I've got that the wrong way around. I don't think Stoke have conceded 12, to be honest with you. I think I may have that the wrong way around. Yeah, I've got those 2 the wrong way around. So QPR conceded 12, but like I say, 7 of those were from 1 game, and then the other 5 were from 4. I think if it was at Stoke, I would have backed them to get the win, but because it's away, I just think they could struggle. That's why I've gone for a 1-1.
I've gone for 2-1 Stoke because I think, again, I agree with you, mate. I've sort of always liked QPR. Even when they got promoted to the Prem, and they signed some pretty interesting players. They're always good money for value to watch.
Yeah.
I just think QPR are going to be just a bit inconsistent this season. Obviously from the form there, they've had a good couple of results last couple of games. But I like you, I think Stoke will fall away, but I think it's a bit too early for that. I think they'll go there and get a win. It'll be close. I definitely think it'll be close. But I think, for me, mate, QPR, they'll just be a bit inconsistent. It won't surprise me if it ended up as a 1-1 draw, what you've gone for, to be honest. It's another tricky one to call, but I thought I've picked quite a few draws so far, so I thought I'd be I'll back myself on this one now.
Carry on.
I'll go for the good Stoke start to continue. That's why I went for a 2-1 away win. Yeah,
I mean, last season it was 1-1. And if you look at the win probability, 37% QPR, 35% Stoke. So I just couldn't sort of divide these. Pashan's gone 2-0 to Stoke. And he said, Chris, you were there during the 9-0 Southampton game. I was. It pissed down, but I didn't care. Top should hire you was a lucky charm. I went to a few games that season, and it never happened again. Right. So the next game, which is also not in the Super 6, which is Blackburn Rovers against Ipswich. 20% for Blackburn Rovers, their win. In fact, more of a probability going to be a draw. Ipswich 44% chance of winning. Look, they smashed. They're absolutely smashed. Why did I not go for 5-0? I mean, I watched that, and I have to say, in fairness to Sheffield United, who obviously have now got Chris Wilder back, who knew, they actually were all right in the first half, and they were probably unlucky to go the 1-0 down. In the second half, I mean, I don't know what the guy said to them at half time, he probably said, "We've got this in the bag, just sit back," because they were fucking awful. Every time Ipswich went forward, you thought they were going to score. And I think looking at that, I think so glad we didn't keep Tom Cannon.
He's having a bit of a rough ride there at the minute. I think a lot of their fans ain't exactly happy with him, to be honest. I think he's
gone to the Dhaka School of Finishing, hasn't he?
By all accounts, he's been given plenty of chances to prove himself, but it's just not happening for him. I mean, I do like him as a player, but some clubs players go to, and it just don't work out for him, does it? I mean, prime example is, for my recent memory of being a Leicester fan, is Kramaric came here, didn't really do well, but I don't really think he got many chances. Went to Hoffenheim and absolutely bossed it for the last God knows how many years. I totally agree with you, mate. I watched the game, and Ipswich, they just look clinical. Obviously, to win 5-0, and like you said, mate, I think every time they went forward, they looked like they were going to score. In hindsight, it probably should have been more than 5. I see you've gone for the 2-1 there.
Yes.
Ipswich.
Yeah.
I've gone for 2-0 Ipswich.
Oh, right. I mean, I just think. Look, everybody's been surprised at Ipswich where they are after their start. I mean, they're actually sat Blackburn Rovers, but they've drew. The first 3 out of the first 4 games they could only get a draw. And again, I was one of those that said Ipswich are going to walk this division, and I'm surprised at their start because they did what I wanted to do last season, which was buy young.
Yeah.
They bought out the Championship. And we bought old, and yet we both went down, so it didn't work out for either of us. But coming down, I would have, I was thinking, well, they bought the Championship players, that they should walk this. But Schmodic, who, look, he scored for Blackburn when they beat us on the last day of the season, before we went back up to the Premier League. He's doing nothing. Hurst is probably one of their top scorers, the ex-Leicester player. I just think if they can't turn the season round after that 5-0, then there's something wrong.
I think that's the catalyst, mate. I can see them really pushing on now, to be honest.
Yeah. 3-1, Prashant has gone to and he was in the keep Tom Cameron camp, but I think it's because we were so desperate for goals. Yeah, I mean, if it was Cannon or Dhaka. But he's Martin we trust, and he seems to like Dhaka. Derby County versus Preston. Again, this isn't a Super 6 game. 40% Derby chance, 32% Preston. 19th. Surprisingly, Derby with that percentage. 8th for Preston. Again, they always seem to do, well at the start and then fall away. You can see all the percentages there. 2-0 this game last season. I've actually gone against the win probability because I don't see how Derby can, I don't know how they've got 40% win probability when you've got. We've
only won 1 game.
yeah, exactly. And in fairness, they've got this is all AI, by the way. These percentages, AI drunk, I think it should be. Derby down there in 19th. They managed to just stay up last year. I can't see them getting anything here, and that's why I've gone 1-0 to Preston.
I was going to go 1-0 Preston, but I'm going to give Derby the benefit of the doubt. Again, it's one of them. It's one of them games where had it been at Deepdale, I'd have probably gone for the Preston win. But
yeah,
I think because it's Derby at home, mate. I've gone for the 1-1. I mean, as you can see, Preston don't score many, but the pretty much goal difference is 0, I guess.
Yeah.
Derby's goal difference is obviously negative. They both concede. They both don't score too many, but that's why I can see it being a draw. Could have gone for the 0-0, but I think they'll grab a goal each. So 1-1 for me, pal.
And, all I will say, you question why you're bottom of the league.
I suppose.
That's all I'm saying. Now, your best friend, Passions, is now agreeing with me. He's gone 1-0 to Preston. So well done, that man. Well done. Right, here we go then. Hull City against Southampton. Again, still not another Super 6. This is just a normal game. 33% Southampton, 39% Hull. The XG is not a lot of difference. Hull scored 7, conceded 11. 6-6 for Southampton. I mean, Southampton are down in 15th at the moment. 20th for Hull. Again, a lot of people said Southampton were going to do well. I think, I don't get what all this hype is about Will Still. We can all win games on, Football Manager, but it doesn't make you a good manager in real life. And that seems to be his only claim to managerial fame. Southampton, Will Still is another one I can't see lasting the season. So I've gone 1-1. And Prashant, who is an absolute, honestly, he's so clever and absolutely. And he's agreed with me, believe it or not. He's gone 1-1 as well.
I think with the Will Still argument, I mean, he did really well in France. Because, like you say, he's sort of got not really much managerial. Obviously, I think I'm not sure if the job in France was his first sort of managerial job, but he got sort of little bits of knowledge here and there. I think it just goes to show how difficult the Championship can be, and it is such a tough league, and I think that's why there's always a lot of eyes on the Championship, obviously, because it's a step below the Premier League, and people are always interested to see who's going to be the Premier League the following season. It's
just to go, his managerial career started in 2000. Well, he was a player for youth in his youth, and then he went straight from that eventually to becoming a manager. 2017, he was there for one season at Lierse. 2021, he was one season at Beerschot, and then 22 to 24 Reims in France. 24 to 25 Lens in France. So he's only had he hasn't stayed long anywhere.
I think it's sort of one of them where, I'll be honest, when Southampton made the appointment, not envious, but again, maybe looking at it as sort of you sort of getting the unknown. He's never come over and done it in the English game, and you sort of see what he did for the teams in France. By all accounts, he did pretty well. But again, I think the Championship, because it's so physical, and maybe the way he plays, it's a league where you don't really get that much time on the ball. I think he likes quite the passing game. Maybe that's why it's not really worked out so far for him. And I think, transfer wise, I think that they brought in a few good players, but they made a lot of money, Southampton, with sales this season. So maybe he thought he was going to get a little bit more. Having said all that, though, you can sort of guess which team I've backed to win.
It wouldn't be an away win by any chance.
Yes, indeed.
Who knew?
I don't know why I do it to myself, pal.
Literally, you talk yourself.
I know.
The prediction you've gone for.
I know, but the thing is, 1 week, Chris, we'll look back on one of these and think, fucking hell, yeah, Josh was right that week. He really knew what he was talking about when he was going on about it.
Oh, I don't think we'll ever think that. But yeah, but if we do, and we say, yeah, he really knew what he was talking about.
Yeah,
he did completely the opposite.
So after all that, I've gone for Southampton 2-1.
2-1 to Southampton. That is the popular score of the day. 2-1. Passion says, I'll start taking mock lecture in a few weeks. I need not to be a complete knobhead. Just do complete. everything opposite to me and Josh. You'll be fine. Oh dear, here we go. Right, we're back to a Super Six. Norwich, Let's Be Avenue, hosting the Welsh Wonders in Wrexham. And we've agreed here, believe it or not. Now, look, I don't begrudge any team getting money. I really, really don't. And I'm really happy for Wrexham that, you know, the Americans have come in and they've done what they've done. They've brought some glamour to the club. You know, they've got money through the Netflix and the connections there. But it's always good to see clubs, when they're like that, suddenly struggle. And I've read a lot of the fans there actually want Phil Parkinson out. When you look at, they've had a run of success. I think they thought, well, look, we're going to do an Ipswich here and go up. It's not going to happen, and I didn't predict that they would go up. But when you look at the purchases they've made, and I'm going to say two in particular, Danny Ward and Connor Cody. You're thinking like, no bloody wonder they've conceded 10 goals.
I think at the time, mate, maybe they sort of looked at maybe it's two signings where you think maybe they're a little bit naive in who they're actually buying. I think, you know, you could look at it as, you know, say from a neutral perspective who's not watched Danny Ward or Connor Cody play football in the last God knows how many years. You look at it and think, right, well, Danny Ward, Welsh #1 goalkeeper international, Connor Cody, England international, and you think, God bloody hell, yeah, what two amazing signings they are for a club like Wrexham. Yeah, but I think we knew when we seen that they were going there that it'd be a bit of a disaster. Now it's not a knock on. I mean, Danny Ward was just an absolute nightmare for us. It turned out so tragic, and then Connor Cody was just sort of one of them where, you know, it sort of there's a saying that say all fart and no shit, and I think that's sort of what he falls under a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of.
I've never heard that before.
Have you not? All fart and no shit. Yeah,
I'm going to write that down. I'm going to make a note.
He sort of talks a good game, and you know what? I think from what you see of him, I think behind the scenes, you think, yeah, you know, he's good for morale and stuff. But I mean, I think the thing is, Wrexham, for me, they've made good signings. Don't get me wrong, like obviously other signings, and they've spent quite a bit of money. But I think from a neutral towards Wrexham, they've tried to do too much too soon. And Championship's not really a league where, you know, trying to get pretty much 11 brand new players to gel straight away. You're not going to get that time. I don't think they'll go down. I think they'll have enough to stay up fairly comfortably. But if it were me, and who'd listen to me because I can't even predict football scores, right? But personally, I think, you know, maybe they should have done what Ipswich done, where Ipswich came up. They made a few good signings here and there, but they kept the core of the squad. They might have had a better start, but that's what I couldn't see anything other than a Norwich win, mate. Really, I mean, Norwich are a bit unpredictable this season. As you can see on the form there, lost one, drew. So, but it's a home win for me, mate. That's all I can see out of this one.
I think I've agreed with you 2-1. Although, actually, this might. I'm going to have to check this. This is going to VAR. I'll tell you why it's going to VAR, because I may have changed it in the group, you know, in the group chat. But I don't think I changed it on the artwork, or it's the other way around. Let's just have a look what I went for. No, actually, I did go different to you. I went 3-1.
3-1.
3-1, but I just didn't update this. And if anybody thinks I'm being funny. Just go, go and check the group chat.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a Brad situation going on here, Chris. I don't like it.
If it finishes 2-1 to Norwich, I am going to say I put the wrong score down in the group. That's how it works. I actually, the reason I went for 3-1 was because I'd gone for so well. On the Super 6, I'd gone first game 2-1, second game 2-1, third game, which was this one. I had to go for something different, which is why I went 3-1. I think more than I think Norwich will win 3-1. I think Wrexham will lose 3-1.
Mm.
And
100%, mate. It makes sense, definitely.
Yeah, it's not often I make sense, but you see, Prashant is no longer, and Nobeddy's agreed with me again. What a clever, even without seeing it, mentally up here, Prashant agreed. If that finishes 2-1 now, I'll be so pissed off. Oh dear. Right, and then we've got a spate of Super Sixes because we've got Portsmouth against Sheffield Wednesday. No surprise, 57% win chance, one of the highest, if not the highest, of the weekend for Portsmouth, at 19% for Sheffield Wednesday. Looks like this sale's fallen through that they were hoping for. They've got problem after problem after problem. It amazes me when you look at Newcastle, and I mean, as bad as owner as Mike Ashley was, the players were always getting paid.
Yeah.
Left Newcastle, they were in a great position PSR-wise. They were never in any trouble of losing points. So they were a very well-run club financially, just not on the football side. Sheffield Wednesday, when these owners say, "Well, I won out," well, why do you want to make so much profit if you've put 40 million in? Just get 40 million out, and for Milan Mandrich to go and have a look at it and say, "I'm going to save them again," and then go shit and walk away. That sums it up for me. I can't see it, unfortunately, and I love Sheffield Wednesday and I support their fans and I feel so sorry for them. They must be absolutely pissed off that Chris Wilder's gone back to Sheffield United because for 5 weeks they've been above them in the Look, they've not even got a 1% XG. It's 0.98, and I've gone 2-0, and I just think it's just going to get worse before it gets better for the Owls.
As we all know, I sort of back them every week. Much like you, Chris, I really want to see them doing well. It's just an absolute shit show for them in it, and it's so sad to see because they are a massive club, a really big club, Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, sort of growing up when I was a kid in like these sort of mid-90s, they're always in the Premier League and they had some cracking players, and they were always sort of up there and doing okay. Again, mate, I think at the minute, I hate to say it, whether it's at Hillsborough or an away game for them, you can't see them getting anything. I think at the minute, obviously, the home games are becoming sort of away games for them as well, because by all rights, Wednesday fans are doing protests and all sorts, and not many fans are turning up. So that's why I was going to go. To be fair, I was going to go 4-0, but I've sort of lowered my expectations and I went for 3. I think Sheffield Wednesday will hold it to 3 at least. But again, it's another result where I'd love to be wrong, mate, because I really want to see them picking up. But you just, like you say, at the minute, you cannot see it.
No. And as much as you're backing them, you've gone for them to lose.
I know. And this is the thing. Like I feel like is I'm a Leicester fan through and through, but as a fan of football, and I'll speak highly of them because it's the fans don't deserve what's going on. I think the players, as much as we all moan that footballers are overpaid and stuff, at the end of the day, they sign a contract, they've got mortgages to pay, they've got families and stuff, and if they're not being paid on time, it's a disaster, isn't it? So that's why rather than, obviously I don't want them to do well for the owner, but it's sort of, you got to sort of tempt the rough with the smooth, I guess. Obviously, if they're winning games, the owner's going to be all right, and maybe, it sort of pushes them for a better sell going further on down the road. But I'll say I'll back them every week, because obviously I've not backed them to win, but I'll always speak highly of them, let's say that.
Yes, yeah, and then just, put them down to get walloped. Right, just got rid of that Twitch idiot. So you've gone 3-0, I've gone 2, and the reason I've gone for 2 is because this is the 6th game, and Portsmouth have scored 4 and conceded 3. I can't see, I see them winning, but not by like you say, not like a 4 or 5, unfortunately. Right, next up it is the next Super 6, which is Sheffield United versus Charlton. And I went for this. This was chosen before Chris Wilder took over. Yeah, I predicted it, didn't I? I said, even at the start, how long will it be before they go back to Chris Wilder? And then obviously they had that awful start. If only I was that good at predicting scores. But Sellers had to go. Let's be honest, they were fucking awful. Conceded 12. They've scored. Now again, I think I've got that the wrong way round. No, I haven't. No, Sheffield United at home. They've only scored 1 goal.
Jesus.
And they've conceded 12. All right, 5 of those were against Ipswich. I don't know if you saw the video where Chris Wilder was going back and he was greeting all the players, and they actually had smiles on their face, and a couple of them were hugging him. And I don't think they've enjoyed their time under Sellers, to be honest.
No.
With you. Charlton is one, somebody else is what that a lot of people predicted to go down. A lot of pundits. You, I think, have sort of kind of gone along with me in the fact that I think you predicted this after Wilder, as I did the prediction afterwards, and I think it's going to give them the kick with
Definitely.
Wilder.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah.
He'll, that said, I mean, I think he will make them better defensively, but I don't think it would work straight away, if you like, but look at that, 51%. That hang on, 51% win probability for Sheffield United. And I think AI has looked at that, and they've even AI's gone, fucking Chris Wilder's back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely. That's the only way you can look at that, really, ain't it? But I can't really add on any much more what you said already, mate. It's purely for the fact that Wilder's come back in. He did a good job with them. Like, I know they lost in the playoff final, but whenever he's gone there, he's always done a really good job. So, and I think the players are going to they'll be bang up for it. I think they might be a bit inconsistent to start with under his reign again. I can't see him going on a massive winning streak now, but I think they'll pick up, wins along the way, and come the end of the season, they'll be all right. And that's why I think 100% what you said. I think it will start this weekend where they'll get the first win.
Yeah, they'll be really, really up for it. And Charlton's not a bad game. I mean, Charlton are only in 18th themselves. Again, 5 games in, conceded at least 1 goal a game, only scored 3. So it's probably not a bad game for his first one. Apparently, when he walks out onto the pitch, that he is going to be surrounded by naked women throwing rose petals on the ground before he walks out. One of the things he demanded if he went back. I mean, that
Good
guy.
Man.
Talk about, just give me, here's a blank piece of paper, write down what you want. You write your own contract. He must have been able to I don't know how much he's going to be on, but bloody hell, he's going to be on a right retainer, isn't he?
It's mad to think, obviously, he got sacked, was it? God, what? 4 months, 4 months ago now.
Yeah.
So he got paid. He got paid to be sacked, and then they obviously paid him, re-employed him again now, so he's getting paid again. It's the only job in the world where that could happen, really, isn't it?
It is totally. And I mean, I've never known, and there probably has been, but I've never known where a manager has gone back 3 times.
Yeah.
And I think he's taking the same backroom staff with him as well. And that's the thing. If he goes back on his own, like we said the other week, Clough without Taylor, Pearson without Shaky, it wasn't good. But I think he's going back with his same backroom staff. But sometimes managers just fit into a club, don't they?
Definitely. I think the only manager I could think of may be the 3rd time he's been at the club. It's maybe Darren Ferguson at Peterborough. I don't know if it's his 3rd time.
Good shout there. Yes.
Maybe, yeah. And it's not going too well for him at the minute. So maybe 3rd time's not a charm. But no, like you say, mate, he's again certain managers fit certain clubs. We had obviously under Pearson, he got the club. And I think Wilder he'll do more than all right there. I think they've lost a few players, but a lot of the players there are still sort of signings that he made, especially their attackers. I know at the minute they're not scored, obviously they've 1 goal this season, but he seems to be the manager that will get a tune out of them going forward. And then, as we say, as you said, defensively he'll make them a lot more solid. So I think things will really pick up for him now.
When I said I didn't think there was many that have done it, 15 of them have done it.
Really? Bloody hell. Is Darren Ferguson one of them?
Well, let me have a look. Starting in 15th place, this guy's coached 20 different teams. 3 separate manager tenures at Roma was Claudio Ranieri.
Oh, bloody hell.
Giulio Comasina, I've absolutely no idea who he is, but we'll ignore him. Kevin Keegan, that must be Newcastle. Yes.
Yeah, it's got to be, isn't it?
Yeah, 3 times at Newcastle. Wow.
God.
Fabio Capello, AC Milan, 3 times. Yup Panics, Bayern Munich, I guess. Roberto Mancini,
Fiorentina, God.
Inter Milan, I think. How was it? After doing a prolific playing, management, Fiorentina, after Fiorentina, and then Lazio with couple of times. Yeah, it must be Inter Milan that he's done it. Yeah, it was Inter Milan. I didn't realise there was more info underneath. Louis van Gaal. Barcelona? No, it can't be Barcelona, surely. Yeah, Barcelona. Bloody hell. Allegri, he's been around a bit. He's done it 3 times. Kenny Dalglish, Liverpool. Yeah, bloody hell. Matt Busby. I'll let everybody know that. Zinedine Zidane.
Real Madrid? Yeah. No, he's not been there 3 times, is he? Zinedine Zidane?
Real Madrid, 16 to 18. He left the club after the 17-18 season. He then returned 19-20. He left the club in 21. Real Madrid head coach, yeah, it is Real Madrid. Bloody hell! Aguirre Dacci, Carlo Ancelotti, Real Madrid again. Rinus Michels, wherever. Wherever. And of course, how could we forget the one we have forgotten? And it doesn't say Darren Ferguson. But I'm going to have a look at Darren Ferguson, but Jose Mourinho.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Has he been there for, was it 3 times he were there?
He must have been.
So,
3 years. 2004 to 7.
That's it.
2000 returned. Yeah.
I only thought it was twice for some reason.
Well, I mean, unless this is Tribuna.com.
Does it say I'm good at predicting football scores?
we could do with it, couldn't we? Oh no, sorry. 15 football managers managed the same club multiple times.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, but I'm going to look up because I don't think Darren Ferguson actually. Sorry, I actually put in 3 times as my Google search. But Darren Ferguson, I think you're right with him, you know.
I think I might be. It's a good shout, isn't it?
Yeah, Peterborough United, 2007 to 9, 2011 to 15, 2015 to 22.
He's been there 4 times.
And then 2023. Wow. 4 times.
He's got something on them, and he's got to have. Fucking hell, that's not normal, is it?
It's not. Is Peterborough still owned by Barry Fry?
I don't know if he owns them, but I'm pretty sure he's like one of the directors there or something. I know he still has him.
I may be boardroom. No, he is. No, he's still with us. He's director of football.
He's still, sorry, Chris. You said he's still with us, like he's still alive.
Well, he is.
Yeah, sorry.
I thought, for some reason, I thought he may have passed.
No, he's still going. He's still with us.
Well, he always used to be in the news, didn't he? And then he's kind of...
He's some bloke, innit? He's some bloke.
He is. Anyway, Crash Out's gone 2-1 to Charlton after all. I wonder if Chris Wilder's gone to the owner. Wherever we finish at the end of the season, can you sack me and then take me on for the start of next season? Catch Darren Ferguson up. How are you doing? I apologise. I went through 15 names there and I didn't have to. Google. I'm going to change to DuckDuckGo.
You know what made me laugh was it was so funny because I think we sort of both forgot what the show was about because we were that concerned about getting managers.
And I was trying to convince myself that managers had been there 3 times. Twice.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Google. And anyway, but at the end of it, Josh is enjoying himself. So. The good news is at the end of it, we have discovered that Barry Fry is still alive.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, I tell you, we did miss. No, there we go. I've got some 3s now. Should have clicked this. I clicked on the wrong thing. Howard Kendall at Everton.
Right, yeah.
Steve Coppell at Crystal Palace.
3 times at Palace. Bloody hell.
94 to 3, 97 to 8, and 99 to 2000.
God.
Frank Beckenbauer at Bayern Munich. Oh, it says on 2 occasions. With his 3rd stint, he would have managed the club 3 times. Ancelotti AC Milan 3 times. Pep Guardiola Barcelona 3 times. So there's some that we didn't,
Bloody hell.
But it might be Barcelona's B or something like that. Anyway, this is the prediction show. And let's get on. How much have you had to drink?
It was just, I think that, you know what, just the last thing I'm going to say about it was sort of when we were talking about it, and you just randomly went, "Oh, Prashant's got 3-1 to Charles."
Trying to bring it back on.
Yeah, no.
The thing that I can't believe I said was that Barry Fry's still with us.
Oh,
right.
God.
There's Bristol City fans out there talk about this. Right. Bristol City, 56% chance of winning. They'd have more if they employed Barry Fry, of course. United, only 20%. Look, we saw Oxford, and this was 2-1 last season, which is not the reason I've gone 2-1. Bristol are third and Oxford are 22nd. I do think Bristol will win, and I think, it won't be a particularly hard game, but I think Oxford showed us up a bit last week. And for that, I think they'll actually get a goal, and that's why I've gone 2-1.
I can see why you have, but I think it's sort of... I think the reason why I've not given them a goal on mine is because we went down to 10 men for so long, and don't get me wrong, they create some good chances, but they didn't take them.
Yeah,
which is why I've not. I mean, I was going to go 2-1, but that's sort of a reason why I was swaying towards them not scoring. They impressed me last week. I thought they were good, and I suppose taking into account we had 10 men. That's why I was so happy to come away with the point and with the 2-2. So
like a win, didn't it?
It did. It genuinely did. I thought Oxford they did okay. But I think Bristol City's this season I can see them doing really well. Tricky place to go. That's why I've gone for home win 2-0.
Oh, and Prashant's gone 2-0 to Bristol.
Good man.
I'm giving to myself because I'm going to be thinking about Barry Fry all night.
You know what we should do, Chris? Just touching on Baz before obviously you move on. I think with our little Super Six we are doing, we should with the trophy we should call the Barry Fry Trophy.
Oh yes, do that.
Yeah, we should integrate him into the Super Six somehow. So we'll or the Barry Fry, the Barry Fry Shield or something. We'll call it.
Indeed, yes. As long as you're not Casket, because he is still with us.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, that's the 6 that we do, not the Super.
That's right. Yeah.
But we're fighting for. Don't start me off. Last game, which is Monday night and has got absolutely nothing to do with Barry Fry whatsoever. Millwall versus Watford. Everybody that's tuning in that, yes, this is the prediction show. 47% win probability. This is one of yours and mine. Millwall don't even register on the offensive. They've not got a very good strike force at all, which again, why have I gone 2-1 to them? I fucking wonder I'm so shit at this. I've gone 2-1 because Millwall, I have to say, Millwall have lost the last 2 home games and Watford have drawn and lost the last 2 away games. 13th place, 17th. I think that was the only thing. In fairness, Watford offensive is only 18%. But 2-1, God knows why. Why do I do this?
The thing is, I can see why you have, because it's at the Den, and they, you know, Millwall. It's always a tricky place to go, but I can't pick a winner on this one, mate. I've gone for the draw. I've gone for 1-1 in this one, mate. I think again, I say it every single week. People are probably getting bored of hearing it, but Watford, you cannot predict what they're going to do. I think this is such a strange team. And Millwall at home are always tough, but share of the spoils for me, mate. 1-1.
Flashbank's gone completely different to both of us. He's gone Millwall 1, Watford 2. Neither of them are particularly good at scoring, 4 and 5, but they've not conceded over an awful lot. I think the thing that made me go for that was looking at the XGs. 1.6 for Millwall versus 0.9 for Watford. It was probably that. But yeah, somehow, Josh, we got through that. I'm not 100% sure how. Through it, mate. Thank you very much. I've been crying here. Look, if anybody knows Barry Fry, we've got to try and get him on the programme.
Definitely, mate. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, by the end of the season, we've got obviously the Barry Fry trophy. Between ourselves, and it'd be amazing if we could get a video message from him congratulating the winner. How brilliant would that be?
That would be absolutely fantastic. It really would. And I apologise to Barry for ending your life.
I was going to say, we'll probably leave out the bit where you're questioning whether he was still alive or not. But
the reports of his death have been very widely exaggerated. Thanks to Prashant and everybody else, Kyle and Mike and everybody who was in the chat. If you're watching on Catch Up, cheers, Prashant. If you're watching on Catch Up, do add comments in below and everybody can like and subscribe. That's a really good help. And if you're listening via your favourite podcast platform, thank you very much. It's good night from me. It's good night from Josh as well. And I have to good night from Barry, hasn't it?
It can't be a good night from Barry.
He's alive. It's going to be a good night. Take care, buddy. Thanks very much.
Have a good weekend, pal. Here's the 3 points for the Foxes, pal. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. And if don't forget, 9 o'clock, it's the Coventry preview with a Coventry fan. So we'll see you then. Cheers, Josh.
See you later, mate. Have a good one, pal.
And you, mate. And you.
Hurrah, buddy.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.